G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Today, part 2 of the Drifter. What is it? Something or other. I forget what the name of it is, but it's the Drifter. It's the little microlight that we've looked at in part 1, and I built it. Didn't take very long. Pretty easy build. One thing I noticed, which I wasn't that happy with, is if you look in the front, you see the pilot seat's on a bit of an angle. It's on the piss, as we say down here in the bottom of the world, because the whole nose section of this craft has actually been put on with a bit of an angle. Now the back seat's okay, it's just the front seat's out of kilter because the back seat is connected to the rear part of the frame, the front seat's connected to this nose piece which glues on there, and what's happened is they've glued that on with a bit of an angle. Now it's not a critical thing, doesn't affect the flying, but it just looks a little annoying, especially when I want to put FPV in here, so the nose is going to be tilted relative to the camera, so forth. Never mind. Now, other issues I discovered, there's no mention of where the center of gravity is in the instructions. They don't tell you where the CG goes. So I just took it about 25 to 35% of the way back of the total wing chord, which makes about 65 to 70 millimeters from the leading edge. Seems to fly just fine there. The servos, they're all right. The linkages, easy peasy, didn't take much. Glued the tail on as specified, fixed that little cross piece at the back there on the tail, which I said was loose. I put some CA in there, that worked just fine. The tail itself is quite rigid with these stays. Got the warps out of it, all really good and easy. Another thing I noticed, these little black things here, which are bolts that holds the wing on the middle, they were the wrong spacing for the holes in the frame, so I had to remove the back one and relocate it so that the bolts would go in. These are tiny things, they're not big things. This is not an expensive model, so yeah, I don't mind having to spend a little bit of time fixing up some of the obvious little flaws. Now, to get this thing to balance properly, well, originally the battery specification is 2 cells, 1000 milliamps, but I've actually got a 3-cell 1300 milliamp in here right up the front to get the CG right. So if you put a 2-cell pack in there, 1000 is going to be too light, it will be tail heavy, it will not fly well. 3 cells, it's more than I didn't have a 2-cell pack the right size, so I used 3 cells. As a result, way more power than is needed. So what I did was I put a curve in the throttle on my Tyrannus so that it all happens at the top, not the bottom, but it does mean you can actually hear the steps because the ESC's only got about 256 separate power levels. You can hear it stepping as you move the stick up because I'm really at half stick. We've only got about quarter throttle and it flies nicely like that. Now the test flight took place on a very, very windy day. And if you've seen my XJet channel recently, you'll have seen the Australian chappie that came over to test fly his model, and it was too windy for his wing, but this flew in the very, very strong winds. Quite amazing. One thing I immediately noticed though was that these wheels are too small for grass, unless you've got really, really short mown grass. I keep the grass mown fairly short here, but it would just tip over, just tip up. So put it on the tarmac, took off from the tarmac in the very strong wind. It was getting thrown around a lot, but it handled the conditions remarkably well. I was absolutely astonished. I never used more than half throttle because I've got the 3-cell pack. Flew around, it flew just nicely. Had a bit of trouble penetrating, of course, in the very strong wind, but you know that's not an issue. I'm going to fly it again in calm weather, and hopefully it'll be, as the name suggests, just a drifter. Now I used an 8-channel receiver in this. I used a FreeSky Delta 8 because I want the extra channels for the pan and tilt that I'll be putting on the plane fairly soon to go with the FPV chair, which I mentioned in the last video. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot else to say. It all went together easily, it was quick, it flies. Although I've only flown in windy conditions, if it flies nicely in the wind, it's got to fly nicely when it's calm. But I'll be flying it again the next few days and I'll give you a follow-up because I'll show you what I've done with the pan tilt and how it's working with our FPV virtual reality chair, so to speak. And yeah, that's it. I'd say this is a nice model. It's the kind of model you really want on a calm summer's day or even a calm winter's day. Do little touch and goes and just put it around the sky. Brilliant. In fact, I hooked a thermal when I was flying this in the wind. So good. So there you go. Buy it. It's great. It has my recommendation. It's a nice model. It really is good. And Banggood provided this for review purposes. So there is a link in the description. I'm not a part of an affiliate scheme. It is a shortened link, but it's used for tracking so they know which videos are producing the most referrals to their website. So click on that link. Go and have a look at the product page for this craft. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. That's it. Questions, comments in the usual place. Now I will get back to the bench, more to review, and there'll be some follow-up on this, as I say, in a couple of days when I've done some more flying with it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
on you, eh?
Yeah.
What's that one called?
The Drifter.
Yeah.
She's a bit turbulent with the old... Oh, I'm landing there.
Nice Ron, nice Ron. Typical Ron finesse.
I'm not saying it's turbulent, but